So, Mr. Beast, KSI, and Logan Paul all teamed up over about, I think it was a week ago when this all first started to come out, about their new competitor to Lunchables. Now, if you don't know what Lunchables is, it's mainly an American thing, because I've like heard of Lunchables in the past, because I live here in Australia, but I've never seen them before. And like I said, I've only like briefly heard about them, but I didn't really know what they were. But they're basically just like a snack pack for kids. They're not really like meant to be a healthy alternative or anything like that. They're pretty much just processed lunchable foods that come in like different packs. Some of them have got like ham and cheese. One of them's like a pizza one, and there's like nachos, and there's all different types of flavors. And Logan Paul, KSI, and Mr. Beast decided to team up to make their own competitor for Lunchables called Lunchly. And the reason why they've teamed up for this is because in the Lunchables, like in each pack, there's always like a drink, which is a Capri Sun, and then there's also like a chocolate as well. And I know that the chocolate varies depending on what kind of Lunchable you get. Now, when it comes to the Lunchlys, they have a Prime in every single one of them, and then they also have a Feastables. And Prime is obviously the sports drink that is from Logan Paul and KSI, and then Feastables is Mr. Beast's chocolate brand. Now, since this has come out, this whole entire like lunchy thing has gotten a lot, and I mean a lot of pushback. And you know what? When it comes to the people that are involved in this, I'm not surprised whatsoever. Like, I can bet you that if it was released by anyone else, it wouldn't have gotten as much pushback as it has. And I haven't made a video about this because of like, you know, the pushback that it has gotten. Like, to me, I don't really care too much about a lot of it. People don't like these three people. And you know what? To a certain extent, I kind of understand it. KSI, I understand a little bit. Logan Paul and Mr. Beast, especially with all the things that have come out over in the last, like Mr. Beast the last couple months. And Logan Paul, I mean, no one's liked him for a severely long time. But the reason why I wanted to make a video about this today is because someone who I respect deeply when it comes to the internet and especially their opinions has been Dr. Mike. And he has actually like put his opinions when it comes to this Lunchly. And like I said, the reason why obviously I respect his opinion is because he goes things from the side of like, you know, the health risks and like, you know, when it comes to how does this affect people's health and like the standards, the health standards that Lunchly has in it. And that's exactly what he was doing as well when it came to this video. He was not going to bash it because of the people that were involved in it. As a matter of fact, in his video, he even states that if creators want to go ahead and make this type and make like, you know, companies where they can make money off it, go ahead and do it. And I have the exact same conceptions when it comes to him as well. The reason why he made a video about this is because of the health standards and way that this is being advertised towards kids and towards parents to buy for their kids as like a healthier option for Lunchables. And yes, it is a healthier option. But just because it's a little bit healthier, something being 1% healthier does not necessarily make it actually healthy. And that is exactly what Dr. Mike talks about in his video.
Is it fair to say that Lunchly is healthier? I guess one can say yes, but honestly, probably more so as a marketing tactic. The reason why? Well, let's look at the recently passed nutrition standards set forth by the USDA for school lunches and see how Lunchly compares. Going line by line here. Less than 10% of calories should come from saturated fat. Lunchly turkey, 23% of calories come from saturated fat. Less than 10% of calories should come from added sugars. Lunchly turkey, 10.4 comes from added sugars. But this is where things get really interesting, and for some reason no one has pointed this out. You see, USDA caloric guidelines say that a lunch meal for kids K through 8 should contain around 625 calories. Kids need energy to function, and calories give them that energy. Lunchly turkey contains only 230 calories, which would mean a kid would need to eat about 2.7 portions to consume enough calories. And if they did that, they'd get nearly 1,300 milligrams of sodium, which is also significantly over the USDA standards. So they'd be either under-eating calories or overeating sodium. Finally, the grain guidelines state that 80% of lunch meals must be whole grain, and Lunchly turkey does not list any whole grain ingredients. It's clear Lunchly, just like Lunchables, misses the mark too many times to be considered meaningfully healthier, at least in my opinion.
That's just a small clip from Dr. Mike's video, and I'm going to link it down below if you want to go ahead and watch the thing in entirety. But he definitely makes a lot of good points talking about how, like, you know, they advertise this as a healthier option when it comes to Lunchables. Even though, like I said, it being 1% healthier doesn't necessarily make it a healthy option altogether. And I definitely think that Dr. Mike has a lot of great points in his video talking about how, like, yes, they are mentioning how this has less calories, but in terms of for kids, I feel like, when it comes to watching your calories, that is more or less when it comes to someone who is overweight. Like, say if your child is obese already at the age of like 12, then yes, you should start watching their calories. And if you're an adult, then yes, calorie watching and calorie counting is definitely a thing, especially someone like me who goes to the gym and I'm, cutting at the moment. So I need to make sure that I'm not eating, a lot of processed food, a lot of processed fats, and like making sure that I'm keeping my calories at a certain level. But when it comes to kids, they need to get as many calories, as many kind of nutritions as they can. And making it out that Lunchly is meant to be this healthier, like, option, to me, is not necessarily like the greatest thing in the world. It's definitely more of like a marketing scheme. You can definitely tell the way that this is advertised. And I think that's also where people have been hating on, like, the three of these guys for Lunchly, is the way that they've gone ahead and advertised this whole entire thing. Especially that clip that's been going around of them, like, trying Lunchables, and they're just like, it's obviously a forced reaction about how bad it is. Like, they're making it out like Lunchables is the worst thing ever, and that Lunchly is like 10 times better. Whereas, a matter of fact, I've watched so many videos, and I was watching Asmongold make a comparison video between the two, and saying that a lot of them, it tastes like pretty much the exact same, and even if one's better than the other, it's not really all that much of a difference anyways. And then the one thing that I like that Dr. Mike did talk about in his video is that they're very nitpicking in talking about what nutrition they want to mention about what is better when it comes to their products compared to Lunchables. Because yes, as much as like there's lower calories and they might use less sugars, Dr. Mike said is that sodium is a massive thing, and having too much sodium is an extremely bad thing for you. That's right. Having too much salt, which is what sodium is extremely bad, especially for someone growing up, and having that much, like, not many calories in these Lunchlys, and then having a lot of sodium inside of them is not necessarily a good thing. And you can tell that the way that they're advertising this, they're very nitpicky. And I mean, that's just the way that marketing works in general. This isn't a special thing towards Lunchly. This is a thing towards all of these types of brands. Like, there's so many brands out there. There's so many people out there. So many, like, big companies that have the exact same thing in, like, their kids' meals, where, yeah, they're just packed with sodium, packed with all these preservatives, and, like, they're not necessarily good for kids. But the reason why this is more unique is because it's made by 3 people on the internet. That is exactly why. And you know what to me is making all of this even worse? Is the way that these, mainly the 2 of them, and I definitely think there's like a hierarchy of how this has gone, of who's contributing to making Lunchly be hated more than the other. And that's like number 3, we'll go from the bottom, is Mr. Beast. He's only talked about this once, and even though, like, I'm not a massive fan of Mr. Beast anymore with all that crap that's come out about him, is that he does talk about this in like a relatively professional way in a reply to one of Drama Alert's tweets about all this. And that one, you know what? A very professional reply. And then you have KSI, who's kind of bashed just a couple people, especially that guy, Dante, I think it is Dante DM. Is it Dante DM? I don't know. But he's kind of just bashed that guy once. And then obviously the overarching person who's just gone about this in the worst way possible is Logan Paul. This man has been replying to everything. So many different things. And he's getting community noted constantly for all of his replies. He's even trying to go against these community notes. And the one thing that I have said, I think I might have mentioned this a couple times in like some of my videos. I'm not 100% necessarily sure because I make so many videos, is that sometimes the best thing to do if people are going against you like this, if you keep fighting against them, to me, it's just a lose-lose battle. Like, if you keep trying to, like, go against their points, if you keep trying to convince them that, no, this is a good thing, let us do what we want, you're just trying to fight an uphill battle, and you're not going to win. The best thing to do is to shut up and not say anything. It's the exact same thing when Logan Paul won that whole Crypto Zoo thing, when he kept trying to fight CoffeeZilla over this. But the best thing to do is to just shut up. And the fact that now Dr. Mike has come out and talked about this, I'd be very intrigued to see if any of these 3 say something against against Dr. Mike, if there is one of them that's going to say something, it definitely would be Logan Paul. But considering, like, you know, the qualifications that Dr. Mike has, the evidence that he pulls up in his video, because like I said, this man has been a practicing doctor for years. He has made YouTube videos for years, and every single time he makes something, this man does his research. He does his research because that's his job. His job is a doctor. So he knows what the hell he's talking about when it comes to all this. So I don't see Logan Paul, you know, even though he's been going at so many people on the internet, which to me is the worst way to go about it, I definitely don't see him going at Dr. Mike or saying anything against him, because I don't think anything that what Dr. Mike said is inherently bad. He's just stating the facts. That's all he's doing. And I agree with Dr. Mike as well in his videos. He said that if content creators want to make businesses, go ahead. Like me, I don't really care, which is why I didn't make a video about all these things initially. But obviously with Dr. Mike, you know, stating these facts and coming out with this, and I respect his opinion a lot. That's when I'm just like, you know what, I really want to make a video about this. And like I said, I don't see Logan Paul replying to it, because if Logan Paul replies to this, especially in a negative way, and they don't take like what Dr. Mike said when it comes to, you know, maybe they should get a health professional with them to, you know, actually make this a healthier option, like more healthier than Lunchables, actually make it where it's an actually healthy option. If Logan Paul replies to Dr. Mike in a negative way, he's just going to keep digging himself his own hole. Because that's all he does. Whenever he replies to negative feedback, all Logan Paul does is dig himself a deeper hole. But I would definitely like to hear what you guys think about all this down below. That's going to be it for me. Make sure you check out Dr. Mike's whole video. You probably already have, because he's a million subscribers. But that's going to be it for me. Make sure you like, subscribe, all that kind of stuff. Peace out.